The following episode is sponsored by Centec. Carbon dioxide is an integral parameter for brain and lung protection in neonatal patients. CO2 provides an indication of safe levels of cerebral blood flow, as well as the efficacy of ventilatory support for delicate lungs. Centec transcutaneous technology provides continuous, accurate, non-invasive monitoring of carbon dioxide, enabling visibility into patients' ventilation status and helping to reduce the frequency of blood draws. Centec. Care with confidence. Hello, and welcome to NANNcast. I'm Jill, your host. After the many challenges we have all faced these past few years, it's time to get recharged. Join us live in the heart of Las Vegas from September 14th through the 17th for NANN's 38th annual conference, the most engaging and valuable neonatal nursing event of the year. Earn over 40 CE hours from comprehensive educational sessions, network in person with fellow nurses and APRNs, and engage in exciting attendee activities. Not ready to travel yet? No worries. NANN's conference offers virtual options so you can stream along from anywhere in the world. At NANN's conference, rejuvenate that tired mind and soul, connect with peers all over the world, and renew your passion for neonatal nursing. Joining me today is Kristin Howard, chair of NANN's conference committee, to give us a sneak peek of what to expect and look forward to for the conference in Vegas. After you're done listening, make sure you head over to nann.org/conference to register today. Let's get right into it. Thank you, Kristin, so much for joining us today and talking about the exciting conference coming up. I think Vegas speaks for itself, the location, but what things does NANN have in store for anybody that's attending the conference this year?
Well, it's in person this year. It's actually hybrid. So as well as getting the opportunity to be in person for the first time in several years, we'll get to meet up in beautiful Las Vegas, which, like you said, speaks for itself, but there is also the option to do virtual, so it will be hybrid. You can do both. And the best part of that is the lectures will all be available online on demand until the end of the year. So even if you attend in person or virtually, any of the conference topics or speakers that you didn't get to hear or wanted to repeat, listen to again, will be available on demand at your leisure for several months after the conference. So there's no more concern with what you have to choose, what you're, maybe splitting up between facilities, making sure everyone covers all the topics. It will be available for you at whenever you have time to listen. So whether you're listening podcast at work or, have time in the car to listen, they'll be available. So the entire conference is at your disposal for several months afterwards, which will be amazing.
That's perfect, because how many times do you want to go to a couple at the same time, but you can't be everywhere? So I like that we can access that whenever we get back.
Yeah, you don't have to choose anymore, which will be amazing. And that's available to everyone, whether they attend virtually or they attend in person. So you don't even have to make a decision on which option you're going to choose.
That's nice. Best of both worlds.
Yes. I think before the pandemic, I was a little gun shy of the virtual conference and virtual learning, but I think whether it was forced upon us or not, we've all embraced it and realized there's nothing that beats being in person, but having that information available or the opportunity to listen at your convenience is a huge benefit.
Oh, yeah, and then be able to get the CEs afterwards.
Yeah, you can really rack up the CEs, yes.
Yeah, just attending this one conference, you have enough CEs for your renewal for your nursing license.
Absolutely.
So good. And you get to hang out in Vegas, too.
Yeah.
So even better. So NANN always has different activities to do besides just attending the lecture. So what other events, what other fun networking opportunities do you have created for NANN as well?
So of course there's going to be the annual pre-conference. Annual pre-conference is going to feature caregiver practice and impact on the small baby, which will be amazing. That'll be on Wednesday, September 14th from 7:30 in the morning to 11:30. And then after that, we will have the APRN Summit on Wednesday, September 14th as well. There'll be lunch from 11:30 to 12, and then the learning session will be from 12:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon. And even though it's the APRN Summit, everyone is welcome. It's open to anyone who's interested in coming, so don't let the name deter you at all. We also will have our annual NANN After Dark party and celebration of neonatal nurses of all kinds, which is always a blast, but I can only imagine the new heights we'll take it to in Las Vegas. There'll also be the exhibit hall, which will be available in person for those that are able to travel, and will be virtual for those that are doing the hybrid conference. So a chance to connect with other nurses, connect with vendors and new products that are available. It's been several years since we've had the opportunity to do any of it, so it'll be awesome to get that. And then there'll be new events popping up that'll be announced as we get closer to the conference, and will be part of any attendee will be notified of all the opportunities that are coming up throughout the conference schedule.
So we talked about all of the fun things surrounding the conference, but how about the hot topics? What topics can we expect to learn from while we're at the conference?
So we have a fantastic lineup this year. Some of the hot topics that we have so far include tracheostomy care, PIC updates, COVID updates, hyperbilirubinemia updates, delirium in the NICU, experts speaking about burnout and resiliency, BPD, telehealth in the NICU, genetic disorders, advocacy, staff engagement, opioid use disorders, family-centered care, you name it, we've got it. We also have an awesome lineup of keynote speakers. So our opening session is going to be Dr. Eileen O'Grady talking about brandishing burnout. She also wrote an amazing book. If you have a chance to read it before conference, great. If not, you'll definitely want to read it after you hear her speak. She's fantastic. Our second general session is going to be Dr. Collins, who we're thrilled to have. He's going to be talking about social determinants of the racial disparity and adverse birth outcomes, which I think hits close to home for all of us, feeling like any child in our care could be potentially receiving, not the best care possible simply because of their background, whether it be, very subconscious or something determined by factors out of our control. So I think he's going to be an amazing speaker. And our closing general session is Sarah DiGregorio, who wrote the book Early about her experience with a preemie in the NICU and the celebration of the radical power of nursing. She is going to be a phenomenal speaker. I'm thrilled to hear her as well. And you'll want to read her book when you get a chance. If you read it before conference, great. If not, like I said, you're definitely going to want to read it afterwards. So we have an awesome lineup throughout the conference, from the pre-con and APN Summit to our keynote speakers and just our hot topics. We have a jam-packed program set up for Vegas. It's going to be awesome.
It seems perfect, the topics, for what every nurse is going through now. With burnout, obviously, we all are experiencing burnout. And then I like the additions of telehealth, because that's the future of medicine. So let's start talking about that and how we can bring that into the NICU. So I think it's a great combination of topics that affect everybody in the NICU now, whether you are in a level 2 NICU or a high level children's hospital NICU where you have different experiences. So that's a great lineup for us.
Yes, I think some very applicable and timely topics. And then a chance to network with others, whether it's virtual or in person, who are going through the exact same thing. And some of the few people who really understand what we do at work and what we're going through. So I think it's going to be huge for everyone involved. I think it'll be great opportunities and experiences, and just re-energize everyone. You're not alone. You're making a difference. What you do is important. We need you, and hang in there.
Yes, and I think that networking edition for a first-time in-person conference is going to be very helpful in all of our, sparking more fires under us to make change and bring the new ideas that we learned in conference to our own units.
Absolutely, yes. You can't go to the conference and leave without a renewed sense of energy and purpose, and I think everybody needs that. Everyone's feeling burned out, and they're on their last last leg, and this is what everyone needs. Whether you can be there in person or just virtually, it's going to be healing and much needed for everyone.
Exactly. And, during the flight, you can pick up one of those books and read it and know exactly what to anticipate during those keynote speakers that you mentioned earlier, too. So for the tracks, I know NANN always has tracks that you can pick from in order to guide how you navigate the conference. So are we doing tracks again this year?
So there will be tracks. And of course, the tracks are not meant to be limiting by any means. Everyone is welcome in every track, but it's sort of to help narrow down what you're looking for, or maybe what you feel like you need at the time. So we'll have the children's hospital track, as well as the APN track and the clinical education track, and that just sort of steer people, help people know kind of where the topics land as far as their applicability, but everything is open to everyone and will apply to everyone. We hope to see you there, whether it is virtually or in person. We would be thrilled to have you with us either way, and it's even on demand afterwards. It will be worth it, I promise. And we're just thrilled to be able to be back together again in some way. Vegas speaks for itself, so if you're able to come, awesome. Otherwise, we'll see you in whatever capacity you're able to be there.
Thanks, Kristin, for joining us, and I hope everybody will take an opportunity to learn and let loose while we're in Las Vegas. I would like to thank our sponsor, Centec. This podcast would not be possible without their support. Make sure you never miss an episode of NANNcast by subscribing now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks for your support and letting us into your ears. Have a great day.